Hello and welcome to my channel and my video series about the Canary Islands. If you haven't heard about these islands before, they are located right off the coast of northwest Africa, but are actually belonging to Spain. The Canaries consist out of 7 bigger islands, which are called Tenerife, Gran Canaria, Fuerteventura and Lanzarote, which are the more famous ones. But there are also La Palma, La Gomera and El Hierro. The Canary Islands are mainly famous for their beaches and, touristy areas, like you can see here in this picture, which shows the harbor of Los Cristianos, which is a city in the south of Tenerife and belongs to an area where there are just like one hotel after the other, a big area with a lot of tourists. And this is actually the picture I had from the Canaries before I went there. But I wanted to find something out. I wanted to know if, besides all this tourism and hotels, if there is any kind of adventure left, if you can still have adventures and a great time outdoors or in the nature on the Canary Islands. That was the thing I wanted to find out on my trip. And during this video series, we'll find the answer. During my trip, I will visit whole of Tenerife and La Palma, but we will start here in Tenerife, mainly in the south of the island. You've seen Los Cristianos in the pictures, and if you want to get away from Los Cristianos and all these big hotels, you can do quite a nice walk actually, which leads from Los Cristianos to a smaller town called Las Galletas, and I think this means the cookies. It's a nice walk right at the coast, a little bit long, about 14 kilometers I think, but as you can see in the pictures, it's beautiful. You have nice desert-like volcanic areas, and with this very beautiful sunset right at the beach at Los Cristianos, I will already say goodbye to this part of Tenerife, because we're going to a town called La Laguna. So what you've just seen are some impressions of La Laguna, which is one of the oldest cities here, and it offers many buildings of this unique Spanish colonial style for you to see. And it's located right next to Santa Cruz, which is the capital of Tenerife, with this famous sail-shaped Auditorio de Tenerife. Both cities are good starting points for visiting the Anaga mountains in the far northeast of the island. And that's the place where we go next. Hello and welcome to Tenerife. I know it's been a while since I've been vlogging, like this vlogging kind of thing, because I haven't really got the chance to do it right on the first days. So I'm here on Tenerife since a few days already, and today I'm going to do the first big hike alone. It's from Cruz del Carmen to Punta del Hidalgo. It's in the very north of the island, in the so-called Anaga mountains. It's about 10 kilometers long. The north of the island here is actually very different compared to the south. So the north is very humid and quite a bit colder actually. And one side effect of this is that these tracks are slippery as hell. This is probably one of the most beautiful villages I've ever seen. It's way up here in the mountains, and they have these small fields here everywhere where they're growing potatoes, I think. And it's so beautiful. I mean, I would like to live here. The path here is alright, but the rest of the terrain is almost vertical. Oh man, feels like I'm on the road for hours, but only got 1/4 of the way. So the path now goes to Chinamara. Oh, there's a lizard. You see it? Lizard. That's kind of cool. A lot of lizards here actually. So the path goes to Chinamara and I have to go up there. Just imagine you live in one of these mountain villages. I probably keep repeating myself, but Tenerife is really an island of contrasts. If you look here, on the north facing side of this mountain, it's almost foggy, like a very humid, very moist kind of vegetation. And if you're looking here, on the sunny side, you have cactuses and like this very dry plants. It's really, I mean, it's like, it's 50 meters away from each other. And this is it, Chinamara, an old mountain village where the people are actually living in houses that were built into natural caves in the mountains. see down there at the ground is the town of Punta del Hidalgo, and that's our destination of today's trip. And it's still a bit to go. So if you should ever come to Tenerife, I can already highly recommend this trek. It's so amazing, the nature is just incredible, the views are incredible, but you really need not to be afraid of heights. I mean, look at this. It's hundreds of meters of drop right next to me. So I've actually seen a few like elder people not really doing this part of the trek, but at least trying it, and they have my biggest respect. Even for me, this trek is not that easy. Look what I just found. Some people were carving their names to this cactus here, and there is one name that says 1995. Amazing, there's one here, 1994. And I'm not completely wrong, this one is 82. So right here you can see a weather phenomenon that I actually realized quite often here in Tenerife. If you're looking there on the shore, the weather is perfectly sunny, no clouds there, the sun shines on this small city and the coast. And then if you go up to the mountains, it gets all cloudy and misty. What's up everyone, new day on Tenerife, and we're actually going to do some urban exploring today, because what would an adventure be without some urban exploring? So because I was very tired because of the hike yesterday, I decided to do today a little bit more something that involves a little bit less of walking and hiking long distances. And while checking Google Maps, I found a pretty interestingly looking spot not that far away from La Laguna that is called El Esqueleto, something like that. It pretty much means the skeleton, and it's, by the looks of it, it's something like an old kind of hotel building, which they just stopped building like right in the middle of the process. So it's just the bones, basically the skeleton of the building left, and it's standing there approximately for like 40 years. It was kind of hard to find out some history about this place because it's all in Spanish and there's not much there to find, but maybe I will find something when I'm back home. I was like driving here to a place called La Manesa. I'm really bad at like remembering these Spanish names. I have to get better. Anyways, it was pretty weird because I was like the only person on the bus driving this whole route, and I thought I don't have to walk like much way down to the beach, and look at this. I wanted to do something with less hiking today. Anyways, I'm going down there and I'm trying to get a good shot of the building, and then maybe doing some walking by whatever kind of beach there is. Doesn't it look amazing? It's like an old small pirate's shelter. There it is, El skeleton, standing right on the cliff. This is a crazy place actually, to build some kind of hotel. And yes, I did find something out. So the hotel was built in 1972 as part of a plan to bring more tourists to the area. But they soon ran out of money, so it was never finished. Ever since, the condition gets worse every year and they still don't know what to do with it. The access is difficult and it's located in a nature reserve. This place is actually stunning. You got abandoned building there, Mount Teide there, small chapel there, crazy waves from the Atlantic there, nice cliff, I've climbed all the way down there, and this little pirate abandoned kind of thing there. It's really nice. You've already seen our next destination in the distance. It's Mount Teide, Tenerife's main attraction and the biggest mountain of Spain. Unfortunately, we could not get to the top because of the strong wind on this day. But I will just leave you with some impressions of the Teide National Park. It's a new day. Unfortunately, it's a little bit cloudy, as you see. But yeah, I went to the Teide yesterday. It was really nice, and today I'm doing a short, like, well, not such a short, it's like 6 kilometers, but a walk at the coast. And what I wanted to see is especially this building there. See that? That's some like abandoned like water pump station. There's also one here, but it's not that spectacular. And yeah, I'm just trying to like get a few shots and find something nice, like this kind of pirate fortress right here. This is Puerto de la Cruz, located at the north coast of Tenerife. It is quite touristy, but not as touristy as the south, which is why I would prefer it as a place for holidays. And it has a lot of buildings that make you feel like exploring an old pirate's town. On the last day I've spent on Tenerife, my way took me one more time to a different part of the Anaga mountains. This time I teamed up with Hayden the Priest. She is a fellow YouTuber and I will link her channel for you right now. In the following I will leave you with a few new impressions of the Anaga mountains, and I would like you to sit back and relax for a moment and listen to the sounds of the forest.
This way, right?
It's probably
this way? Okay.
don't think this is a way, that's like no.
This is so cute.
Go down here. Oh, someone is collecting this. There's a pipe here. While we were still on the trek, it got dark very fast and we just barely made it back before nightfall. On the next day, I jumped on a small plane and flew over to La Palma, which is the next big destination of my trip. We are approaching La Palma, one of the smaller Canary Islands in the northwest corner of the archipelago. The first stop is definitely one of the most spectacular places on the island, or even the whole Canary Islands. A hidden cave at the sea with a small village of around 20 houses in it. I won't even try to pronounce the name of it, but I will tell you something about the history. So, the coastline of La Palma consists out of cliffs up to 200 meters high, nearly all around the island. Because of that, the early settlers had to use some very rare natural harbors, just like this one, to load and unload their ships, and use it as a trading post. But there are also rumors that say that this cave may also have been used as a hideout for smugglers and pirates. Some fellow German travelers accompanied me on this exploration. Although we were almost alone there, some houses still seemed to be occupied and used as some kind of weekend home.
Das Wochenendhaus. Schon schlechtere Orte.
Welcome to another day on La Palma, and the day hasn't been starting good so far. I got this... oh crap. I got this nice little car here. Rented it at the airport for the few days I'm here on La Palma, and I wanted to hike some volcanoes today. And in El Paso, the town where I stayed, it's been perfectly sunny and nice weather, and look at this. I mean, what the hell, it's super windy, cloudy, stormy. I've driven basically into a storm here, and my plan is now to go to the south of the island. There are some volcanoes as well, and maybe I'm having better luck with the weather there. I'm not gonna hike in this weather. You won't see shit. and it's super dangerous, and no, not today. These are the salinas in the very south of the island. They are one of the more famous spots on La Palma, and up to this date, sea salt is produced there by using salty water from the ocean and letting it evaporate in the sun. After driving for hours at the coast and trying to find a good spot for hiking at the volcano, I arrived here at this very lonely parking lot, and some of the volcanoes deep in the south were closed because it's too windy today, so maybe I'm having better luck here. Looks nice. Looks very nice. I'm trying to figure out a route getting to some of the volcanoes. Going to leave my little car here and making my way up in these mountains. The landscape here looks amazing, and actually not far from here there's the place where the last volcanic eruption here on the Canary Island happened. It was in 1971. It was not a big eruption, was kind of like immediate, but you can still see the remains today. That's what we've seen earlier at the coast. All these lava fields came from the last eruption. All the trees you can see here are actually the Canary pine trees. It's a species of pines that just lives here on the Canaries, and the special thing about it is that it's used to getting burned. It means one of those trees can be completely burned and then develop new green leaves afterwards. It's basically coal. I need to ask you something. What kind of person are you? Do you like more going uphill or going downhill? I definitely like more going downhill. Jesus Christ. I've just seen a few people hiking here in underwear. I mean, even I feel cold hiking up here with this wind. What's wrong with them? I don't understand. Oh. I'm nearly at the top, 1,230 meters. Oh crap. Shit. start of this day may be a little bit rough, but this here is absolutely amazing. This is definitely one of the most spectacular places I've visited so far. The volcanoes, the view here, absolutely stunning. I came here to see the spring all the way up, but it's a little bit disappointing, honestly. By the way, I didn't mute the audio or something. It's actually that quiet here. You can't even hear animals. No wind here on this side of the mountains. No cars, no people, no animals. Not even birds actually. Before we get to the main attraction, the Caldera, let's first make a quick stop at Los Tilos. Los Tilos is a pretty unique global forest in the northeast of the island. This primeval forest is one of very few of its kind on the earth. Unfortunately, a part of the track was closed due to landslides caused by heavy rainfalls just a few weeks ago. But the views and a few abandoned buildings were still worth it. This is it, the main attraction of La Palma, the Caldera de Taburiente. We planned to start this trip with 2 people, but somehow ended up with a group of 6 adventurers. We paid a cab driver to bring us up to the edge of the crater, from where we hiked all the way down through the valley. A long time ago, this used to be a giant volcano, which at some point in history collapsed and left this giant crater with a diameter of several kilometers. On our way, we used a partially dry riverbed to get to the exit of the crater. On the way, this abandoned building stood at the side of the river. I could not find out what it used to be, but I guess it was used to collect water from the river for irrigation or other purposes. On the next day we went to the Roque de los Muchachos. It's the highest mountain of La Palma, measuring 2,426 meters. In the distance you can see Tenerife with the Teide. The Roque de los Muchachos pretty much is the top of the crater's edge around the Caldera, which you can see right below there. It's also home to an observatory for astronomic research. After driving some crazy serpentine roads once again, I flew back to Tenerife and spent the last 2 days in a town called El Médano, a famous spot for kitesurfing and quite close to the airport. Although it's in the touristy south of the island, I really enjoyed it there because it has a very cool and relaxed surfing atmosphere laying over the whole town. So if you want to stay in the south, this could be worth a look. Quite close to the town you can find the Montaña Roja, with a nice viewpoint at the top. What you can see scattered across the beach are old machine gun positions from the war, which stood there to defend the coastline. And this is it, the journey to the Canary Islands is over. I'd like to thank you a lot for watching, I really appreciate it. And if you're interested in some things I learned on this trip, including a lot of traveling advice, make sure to check out the next and last video of this series, where I will be giving some conclusions on this.